Hi, everyone. I want to welcome you to part 3 of Stop Dating the Wrong Type of Men and 5 Steps to Attract Your Mr. Right. And that's what we're talking about today. That's what we've been talking about all week here. And so I hope that you will enjoy this session today. Yesterday, we talked about core values. I see some women typing in the chat about their core values. Why don't you go ahead and put like 1 or 2 of your core values? So yesterday's assignment was to identify, I gave you a list of core values. And of course, there are many core values you can come up with that are out there in the world. And then just type in what you think your core values are. So that's what I want you to do, right? There were many on a list that applied to you, but the idea was to just write down maybe about 5 and then kind of dwindle them down to 2, which was so important. Anita is saying that she was so impacted. You couldn't sleep all night. Wow. So Anita, my darling, this is just 2 sessions that you've had with me in your life, right? As far as I know, right? And so this is how powerful what we teach is in our Get Mr. Right University. Really strive to give incredible value so that you can make shifts immediately. The shifts that you make when you're with me and my community, they don't take long. I don't drag you on for years because that does me no good. I want you to learn what you need to learn immediately so that you can go out and attract the love that you deserve, because I want to see you happy, right? And then I want to be happy for you, right? So I am so glad. I'm so glad that you couldn't sleep. I'm so glad that this information is making a great impact on you. And it has been constantly on your mind. You know, when things are constantly on your mind like that, that is your conscious nagging you. That is your inner spirit letting you know that you want more. There's a yearning inside of you that you didn't know was inside of you. And that's happening with many women all around the world. And that's exactly why we see the evolution of the women the way we see them in today's world, right? We see Beyonce talking about who rules the world, who run the world, right? We see so many other women, right, talking about women power and the evolution of the feminine woman, right? I really teach a lot on femininity in my program. And one of the things I teach is we talk about Maslow hierarchy of needs. And when we talk about that, you know, women are really the only, and there are a lot of people too, but this is the first time in life that we're really starting to reach self-actualization, you know, in that hierarchy chart of our needs, right? So I want to do something a little bit different. I forgot to bring my speaker in here. So let's see how this works. I want to open up our session. Let me see if I can find my music. If I can't, I may have to do it another time. Let's see if this was, I'm going to see if this was my music. Hold on. Okay, yes. Hope that you can hear it. I'm going to put it on mute for a minute.
Make your taste buds say grazie. That's good. With new Sargento blend.
We're going to do a meditation. So I want you to sit up straight with your feet planted on the floor. I want you to put your palms up and put them on your lap and relax. I want you to trust this process and close your eyes as I guide you just for about a minute or 2 through a meditation, because I know that the information that I've been teaching is super deep and super powerful. So if you will, just close your eyes, put your hands palm up on your lap, feet planted firmly on the floor in front of you, relax. I want you to breathe in your nose, deep breath, exhale out of your mouth, slowly. I want you to do that 2 more times. I want you to breathe in deeply through your nose. I want you to exhale slowly out of your mouth. I want you to do that one more time. And as you do that, I want you to really release the cares from your day. I want you to just focus on your breathing. And breathe in deeply one more time. And exhale slowly out of your nose. I want you to keep your eyes closed, keep your palms up. And I want you to just pay attention to how relaxed you're becoming in this moment. I don't want you to focus on any other moment in your life right now. I actually want you to start to release those moments. I want you to breathe in deeply again, and as you do, I want you to say, I receive love. I receive love. And on your release, I want you to say, I will forgive. I want you to breathe in deeply again and say, I am love. And on your exhale, I want you to say, I will be loved. I want you to inhale slowly again as you're breathing, just paying attention to the sound of my voice and to the music. I want you to breathe in, and I want you to think about releasing the cares from today. I want you to think about releasing some of the pain that you've been caused. And just keep breathing in and out. Don't hold your breath, just slow breaths in and out. And I want you to release some of the pain. I want you to focus on just one wound that you've been carrying and holding on to. A lot of times this wound is in your poor news story. It's in who broke your heart. This is often the story that we tell if we're out at dinner or with someone and we might feel like we want a little attention and to hear someone say, oh wow. I want you to take that incident and I want you to release it from your body as you breathe in and as you breathe out. I want you to release some essence of that situation. I don't want you to allow it to have hold on you. I want you to let it go slowly. I want you to start to think about the person who may have caused you some pain. And I want you to have compassion for yourself by starting to allow yourself to forgive that person. And just realize that forgiveness is only for us. It doesn't matter if that person ever apologizes or ever changes their ways. Continue to breathe in and out very slowly and deeply. I want you to start to release it. I want you to give yourself permission to release it. And I want you to give yourself permission to be present in this moment and to receive love. And to allow yourself to receive all that you need to be guided to the happiness and love that you truly desire. I want you to take 3 more breaths on your own, at your own pace. Breathing in deeply. And just thinking that I'm ready to release. And exhaling slowly. And I want you to say, I deserve love. Continue to breathe in deeply. Thinking those thoughts. Feeling and thinking how it would feel to be loved. loved by yourself, loved by your Creator, and loved by your future husband. I want you to just take one more breath or so. Make it deep. I want you to release through your mouth very slowly. And I want you to slowly start to open your eyes and come back into the space where we are here together. And so that's just a small snippet of a meditation that I do with my class and at my retreat. I know you're probably really relaxed right now. So take a moment, if you will, and as you really come back and refocus, feel free to type in the chat room of what's coming up for you. Feel free to tell me if you were able to release. Charlene says, weeping. I'll give you all a moment to really type what you feel if you choose to. But throughout this class today, I wanted to start with a small meditation. Usually we can do a meditation for 4 or 5 minutes or longer. It's really important. Yes. So Vina is saying that she needs to forgive her ex-husband. Weeping, overwhelmed. When we get still, we can really feel what's going on in our body. We can really start to understand where our pain is. When we get still, we can really start to tap into our femininity. And that's just a small example. And then what happens when you can get in touch with yourself, with the pain inside, quiet those thoughts, start to allow yourself to release your husband, release your ex-husband. Yes, because you're angry at him. I want you to start to release some of that. Holding on to it won't make you change the situation. It won't make him come back. It won't make things change. And so one of the things that's really important for us as women is to learn how to release. And sometimes we can't release because of pain. And as Anita is mentioning, it can be very unresolved because if you have a death, if you lost your husband by death, that's the worst kind of loss. But even Anita, I want you to know that nothing is going to take away that pain. And so I do want to encourage you to seek out help to go through the grieving process for the death of your husband. When someone dies so young, there's no explanation. There's nothing that could take away that pain. There's nothing that could change the way we feel and the love that we've lost. The one thing I do want you to reflect on is how privileged and honored you were to share space and time with him. And just to know that you were blessed to be able to share that time with him. I appreciate all of your comments, and it's unresolved. Death is going to always be unresolved. There is no resolution except for what God provides in the Bible if you're a Christian. That's the only resolution and hope that we have. If you're a Christian, please know that the book of Corinthians provides a lot of hope for you and letting you know that there is a hope for your husband as well as for yourself. And I'd be happy to share more about that with you offline. So ladies, I'm going to dive in to our presentation tonight. This is our final session. I know everyone is really relaxed. They're in deep thought right now. And that's a good thing. That's where I want you. I want you to really be in deep thought. I want you to really think about what it is that's going on internally so that you can focus on the things that you need to release, the things that you need to shift, so that you can move forward in your journey to stop your negative relationships, your toxic relationships with the wrong type of men because of our pain from our past and other men, and move forward to a space where we can really attract the love that we truly were brought to this earth to deserve. And that's where I want you to shift your energy. And so with that being said, I'm going to get started, ladies. I'm going to shift our energy a little bit now to go inward. The feminine energy that we just tapped into, the stillness, the quietness through meditation, it's going to prove beneficial as we talk about being in our feminine energy tonight. I don't usually do meditation in a short space and on a complimentary workshop the way I'm doing it tonight, because it is a very deep thing and we're not in person and it's hard to really hold you and give each one what they need, right? But I want you to see the power of getting still with yourself, the power of connecting with your creator, and the power of creating a space so that you connect with your future Mr. Right. Okay. All right. So we're going to get into tonight's session. With that, I hope that worked out well for you all. I hope that allowed you to see what you needed to see so that you can start to become consciously aware of what you need to work on, what you need to address within yourself so that you can stop dating the wrong type of men. Oftentimes, we're not still enough to do that. We don't take the time to look within ourselves to really do that. And so I wanted to create that space for you to do that, because when we don't hold someone's hand, sometimes they won't do that. So it's a little warm in here. So I'm trying to get the air conditioning to get turned up. So it's my pleasure and it's my honor to really have all of you here again for part 3 of the masterclass series, right? Stop dating the wrong type of men so you can attract your Mr. Right. I can tell that so many of you appreciate being here. You've just typed in the chat box what that small meditation did for you. It's very powerful. For some of you, you probably need more, right? For some of you now, you probably need to really understand what's your next. Right? Because now you're tapping into what is your blind spot? What is your ish? Who broke your heart? Right? Tonight we're going to dive into our femininity, and then how do we really shift into really attracting the love that we deserve, right? And then we're going to really kind of wrap it all up for you tonight. And then for those who are still interested in getting more, again, remember that I have open slots for at least 5 of you to have a one-on-one session with me so that you can learn more about what I have to offer, how we can go further in your inner work, and then how can we do that in person at the retreat, okay? So keep that in mind. So I love this note from a student. You know, they love the replay. This person said that they realize that they needed to take a look at the role that they played in attracting foolishness in the relationships. I love what she says here. She attracted no strings attached flings, and it caused her to lower her standards and settle for relationships that she knew that wasn't right for her. And she did this because of her abandonment issues, and she interpreted the consistency as, or, you know, interpret consistency as love, even if it was consistent arguments or, you know, apologizing if she didn't get her needs met, right? So she mentioned that she looked forward to remaining in the sessions, and she thanked me for the work that I do in uncovering her blind spots, right? So for some of us, we can do that faster than others, right? So this is just the beginning of your journey. This is another note I just received from someone today. This was actually from a client that was in my class. And she said, Camille is a saving grace, and she helped me regroup and find myself again. She helped me see through the BS of my ex. She tells it like it is, and that's exactly what I needed to snap out of my trance that I was in, right? Thank you, Camille. You're amazing, and I'm truly grateful for all of the help and guidance. I only wish I could have met you sooner. I love that, and it's just wonderful. And I'm glad that you all are meeting me and that we're here in this space in this time, and that it's not next year or the year after where things could be drastically different or worse for you. Because today is the day that you can begin your evolution, right? I want you to begin your evolution, your change, your transformation. I want you to be able to go from that icky looking caterpillar to taking the time in a quiet, nestled space, right? Which is why I create what I create, right? And then emerging as a butterfly, right? The interesting thing about the butterfly, the caterpillar, and its transition, its journey to becoming a butterfly, it's an amazing transition. You know, in my neighborhood in the springtime, there seems to be millions of caterpillars on the trees around here, right? And you probably heard me mention this before. You know, my son told me, you know, I didn't know why they were all sticking to the tree. And he mentioned that they were trying to eat the bark from the tree trunk so that they could get full and so that they can get super fat so that they can go inside of their cocoon and just prepare to transform there inside of that cocoon, right? In a quiet space so they wouldn't be disturbed. They didn't need to come out, and they could emerge as a butterfly. The process of a caterpillar to a butterfly is an amazing one, because what's interesting is when it goes through this process, it has to go through the journey. It's like many of us. The journey is painful. It has to be super painful for that caterpillar to change into a butterfly. It's alive. You know, when we are in the womb, we don't remember changing and growing and stretching, right? And this caterpillar goes through that metamorphosis process, and it changes and grows. And the interesting thing is, if you don't allow that caterpillar to go into the cocoon and do the necessary work it needs to do to emerge into a butterfly, it will never emerge into a butterfly. And if you come along and you help that butterfly break out of its cocoon too soon, it will never fly, and it will actually die. And so it really sends a loud message to us of the importance of doing our inner work and getting inside of a cocoon, right? Getting inside of a place where the space will be held for us to do our work inside of us, so that we can emerge as a beautiful butterfly. So it's all right if you feel like an ugly caterpillar, if you look like an ugly caterpillar when you cry, because I do. I got that ugly cry. It's okay if you got to go through your journey and it's painful. But what's more important than the pain that you might be experiencing now from some of the past experience, the traumatic breakups or divorce, is the journey that you're on to your happiness, your freedom, a better version of yourself, right? You're on a journey to release some of the pain that you've had and tear down some of the walls that you have, right? So that you can emerge into a life of happiness and love with someone who deserves you, right? And it's super important for us to be able to emerge and to be feminine. It's really, really important to learn how to be and get still and create a meditation practice every day, and to have an accountability partner to hold you accountable to these practices on a daily basis, right? It's really important to be able to be open, to receive, to commit, to respect, and to be non-judgmental. And I bring these things up because I want you, each one of you, to consider. I'm going to ask you a question. I already know the answers because I can see the responses. Are you really committed to yourself? Are you really ready to get the help that you need and you deserve so that you can attract the love that you truly want? Or are you just somewhat committed? Because some of you say, I'm 100% committed when I meet you or when I talk to you. But then I find that you're only a little bit committed, because when we're committed, we will do anything to get what we want. When that man is ready to commit to you, he will do anything to get you. He will buy your ring. He will pay your rent, pay your mortgage, buy your car. He will take care of your kids if you have them. He will get into a fight to protect you, right? He will do whatever he has to do, including breaking his back to provide for you. But I'm asking you, what are you willing to do for you, right? Are you really committed? And I say this because I want you to think about the next time you even sign up for an event. I want you to be so committed that you would put your full name in there, right? Because, and I say this because a lot of people put L, K, in the spot for your name. If you're in my database, I have your names, most of you anyway. But it's interesting to see that we would hide behind that because we don't really want to commit. We don't really want someone to know our name. We don't really want people to know that we're getting help, even if no one knows but me and my staff, right? So this is one of the things I want you to think about when you think about how committed are you? You have to be so committed that you're not ashamed anymore. You have to be so committed that you're not going to allow shame, blame, or guilt to keep you shackled to your past. You have to be so committed that you're more committed to releasing those shackles than you care about who knows if you're getting help. And nobody knows but us, right? I don't go through roll call and I don't call your name out. I don't call anybody out on social media, right? So how committed are you? And I want you to think about this, because when you're not committed, you cannot attract someone who's committed. This is important, ladies. What I'm teaching, I'm not teaching you because I don't have anything else to do. I'm teaching you because this is how you will attract what you want in life, whether it's a man, a money, a job, a fabulous career, great travel, whatever you want in your life, you're only going to attract at the level that you are. If you're not committed, you'll never be attracted to someone committed. If you're not honest, you will never attract someone who's honest. If you're hiding and lying and wearing masks, you will never attract someone who is telling you the truth and open and honest and wants to be with you. So this becomes super, super important, ladies, that you really create the space so that you are showing up as a committed individual and not someone who is hiding or pretending or hoping that no one sees you, right? You have to be committed. You have to be authentic. You have to be open. You have to be feminine. You have to be honest. Because the reason why you're not attracting a man with those traits, because you don't have those traits. You can fake the funk all you want, but you have to have those traits. You have to become the love and the change that you seek in men. You can't expect him to be that great, fabulous man who's attractive and sexy and all of that to you, committed and honest and open and loyal, but you're not that way to yourself, right? Let me know if you are picking up what I'm putting down. Chat in the room. I know I'm stepping on some toes, But I'm just being honest, because if nobody's been honest to you before, how would you know? How would you know to change? Right? I can sit here and dance and sugarcoat everything, but who is going to tell you what you need to do to change, to attract the love that you deserve? Right? So yes, I'm stepping on somebody's toes, and it's okay. Like Anita said, say ouch, you kiss your little toe, wrap it up, put some ointment on it. I'm putting some ointment. I'm getting ready to put some more ointment on it. It'll heal up. You'll be resilient, and you'll keep going. Exactly. Great, Charlene. Thanks, Anita. All right, I'm going to get back to the presentation now. But this is super important, ladies. And I'm glad that you're picking up what I'm putting down. Okay, let me find my presentation here. Sorry about that. I got a little excited. So here we go. Let me talk about transformation. This is real. I don't have her before picture here, but it's okay. This is my client. I won't give names. Okay. Very beautiful woman. Some of you talked about online dating. Some of you told me you didn't know how to attract a man. You don't know why men are not connecting with you. Well, when you talk about your transformation, it has to happen inside and out, right? And I look at this woman because she's so beautiful. And this is the work we did in our program together. This is from her photo shoot that she took. She's a gorgeous woman. And before I met her, before I started working with her, she mentioned that she wasn't getting any traction on the online dating scene. And we just made some tweaks, and we got her photo shoot, and I helped her with her online dating profile, and I went in there, acted like Hitch a little bit. And look at her now, right? Here's another client of mine. This is her before image, right? She's still a beautiful woman, but my God, excuse my dog in the background. Look at the beautiful transformation that this doctor has made, right? So this is a real picture. This is a real client. As a matter of fact, you saw her picture. She was the one squatting down, dancing at the retreat, right? That was her that you saw on yesterday's session. If you didn't see it, go back and look at it. Right? That was her dancing. And this is her before image, and this is her after. What an amazing transformation, right? I have one more. This is another one of my clients, and this is her before image. She's a beautiful woman already, right? She's also a doctor, right? But look at her after image. Before, she's beautiful, but a man might think that she's boring. She's not interested. She's not fun. She got a scarf wrapped around her neck. She got a chain there. Her hair in the top picture is a little flat, you know, no excitement, no buzz. You know, okay, she's average. She's a nice looking girl, but I mean, you know. But my God, look at her afterwards. You wouldn't know it's the same person. Look how free and flowing and feminine she is. Look at the bright, beautiful colors. Nothing's covering her neck. She's smiling. Even with her glasses on, look at the difference between the before and after image with her glasses. You know, she looks almost like, come here, let me meet you. Hi. And so when I tell you, ladies, that you have to get professional pictures, and I walk you through that process, this is a prime example of the work that we do, that I do with my clients, so that they can transform and go through their own metamorphosis in the process. And of course, you have yours truly, right? The epitome of feminine and sexy and healthy love. Healthy love is sexy. Sexy is healthy love when it's in the appropriate way, right? And so this is what I want to help you do. To tap into your feminine, tap into the place where you will feel confident and comfortable with yourself and be able to attract the love that you deserve. But let's talk about how did we get into this masculine place, because when I read a lot of your notes, especially when you signed up for this event and many of my events, the number one thing I hear women say is that they want to become more feminine and they want to let go of their masculine energy. They have their controls, they get triggered, they got a wall up, they don't trust. All of those things are masculine, right? They work really hard, doing a lot for the man, giving him money, doing too much, right? All masculine traits. Men do, women be, right? And so this started really with the war. We can go way back. I'm not going to go too much into history lessons. Those who have been in my community have heard me talk about this before, right? And so the war and the feminist movement has really caused us a shift, right? When men had to go to war, women had to step up and do the jobs, right? And they got so good at it, they didn't want to go back home and be homemakers. And then they began to compete in the male-dominated world, right? And now they've done that so much so that women are now, most of the breadwinners in the world, right? Men used to be the breadwinners and women were the homemakers, right? And the incentive for getting married, check this out, this is the real deal. The incentive for marriage and relationships have changed. We used to get married and want to get into relationships because men had the resources. They had the job, they had the finances, they could provide a home for us. They can do all those things, and we were excited, right? Go back to Bible days. Men had to show what they could provide for a woman to her father before he could take her hand in marriage. He had to pay a bridal dowry, right? A bride's price, right? Nowadays, we give ourselves away for free. We don't care. As long as he is cute. Some of us say, I just want a handsome man. Yeah. So, nowadays, men don't have to get married for sex because women are giving it away for free. So their incentive for getting married has changed. Why should I get married when I can have sex Monday through Sunday and I don't have to pay anything but for dinner, which I'm going to eat anyway? Right? So this is true stuff, ladies. So the game has changed. Because of our power and our education, we don't want men or need men, not want, but need men anymore. And because of women so freely giving sex, men don't need to get married anymore, right? So if the game has changed and you're the same, you're not going to win. So you have to learn how to assess, become more consciously aware, as some of you are. You have to really identify your blind spots, identify the behavior that you have, identify the masculine energy that's blocking you, because masculine energy is one of the number one things that will prevent you from being with a man. You can lump judgmental and critical and nagging and all of that into there, right? So men no longer need to marry you for your sex. And you don't necessarily need him for his money either. So now you're being a lot more picky than you used to be, right? And so, nobody values dating anymore. Especially they don't view it as a virtuous chase event that's leading up to your wedding date. It's just a hookup. Sex is no big deal. They got a pill for AIDS. They got a pill for if you get pregnant. There's a pill for everything. So, we don't even have a lot of social responsibility anymore, right? And being in a male-dominated workforce doesn't really help for those of you who are, in corporate America or own your business, have leadership roles, you're in charge of men at work. It doesn't help. Because you have a ton of masculine energy, right? And 50% of the women are bread owners. So we've lost the art of femininity. We developed survival skills, but we've lost the art of femininity, right? Because we're so emotionally wounded from things from our past. And now we're defensive, and now we're controlling, and now we get triggered, and we're doing too much, right? And many of us believe that femininity is weakness. We don't think that it's strength. I challenge any man to have a baby. Femininity is strength, right? If we were acting like a lady, to act like a lady requires strength. What we see on the reality TV shows is not strength, it's the lack of control, right? So this is what we surround ourselves with, and we think it's all okay. Because we think it's fun, we think it's cool, it gets people that 5 minutes of fame, but it's not showing up as feminine. And it's not showing up as strength. It's showing up as weakness. And we do that because we push down our emotions, or we unleash it on the world or our man, right? And then we feel like we can do it on our own. We don't want to admit that we need help. We don't want to even allow the man to do anything. We don't want to go to a therapist, go to a counselor, go to a coach, seek out a mentor. We want to just sneak around and get help because we think we can figure this out without anybody knowing. Nobody won't know anyway. Nobody's thinking about you. Nobody's thinking about what you're doing. Nobody's out there on Facebook saying, I know she's in that dating class right now, getting help, trying to get her man. Nobody's saying that. There's no posts on social media about you being here. Nobody's thinking about that. So get your help, get your support. Heal those old love wounds, those childhood wounds, the past trauma, the old mindset. Heal those wounds so that you can move on and truly be free emotionally, physically, right? And spiritually, so that you can attract your soulmate and finally have the happiness and the beautiful future and family and children that some of you want. Right? One of the things I want to encourage you to learn how to garner is circumstantial masculinity. I write about this all in my book. Again, if you've read my book, you know this term. You know I coined this term. Circumstantial masculinity is when you understand how to be feminine when it's necessary, and how to exert that masculine energy when it's necessary. And so as an example, when you're at work, it's necessary to probably exert a little masculine energy. When you're at home or out on a date with your man, you need to do a stiletto transition and get into your feminine energy. When you're at work, you may need to give corporate discipline and speak very firmly. I get it. I was the only woman, and I can take that a step further, the only Black woman in the boardroom with a bunch of old white men. And here I am with my presentation and my instructions telling them what we need to do next. I had to be pretty strong and powerful to do that. Right? Pretty assertive. But when I came home, you know what I had to do? I need to tuck my balls in or cut them off and leave them on my desk at work. And when I came home, I needed to switch into my feminine energy. I couldn't come home swinging my balls and my power in front of my man, because that's going to cause problems in our relationship. That's not going to cause him to see me as feminine. Any man that's in a relationship with a woman, he's in that relationship because he's looking for a feminine woman. If he wanted to be in a relationship with another man who was competitive, who was powerful, he would have been with a man. But the fact that he's in the relationship with a woman is that he has a clear understanding of what polarity means, and what your role is as feminine and what his is as a masculine, and how it all goes together. No shade to anybody else that makes any other choices. Let me say that. But I am a Christian. But it all goes back to how God created us, the man and woman, to be together in harmony. All right. Nowadays, the other thing that we have is that there are 4 people in a relationship, right? There's him and his feminine energy, you and your masculine energy, and both want to be respected for your thinking ability and cherished for your feelings. And so the relationship has changed, right? We didn't be concerned about men's feelings years ago in a relationship. We didn't really ask, and he didn't really tell us. Now men will tell you how they feel and what they want, and you're not listening to him, and he has feelings too. Right? That's a big difference. That's why I have a class called Master Modern Relationships, because the world has changed. And you have to really understand how to have a healthy relationship today. Not just getting him, but how to keep him and how to build, right? You have to really understand that. But many of us, we want a fairy tale romance without any work. You think these two didn't do their work? Prince Henry did his work. We saw some of his work. We saw him going through some crazy stuff, right? But they've done their work. They've done their work. And they said openly that they've sought the help of coaches and therapists, right? And that's why a woman who her mom said she was pregnant when Lady Diana and Prince Charles got married, and who knew that she was pregnant with the child that would marry their son. She was pregnant when they got married, watching the wedding on TV. Who knew? But she raised her and she did her work, and here we go, right? A fairy tale romance. It can happen to you, right? Again, women want to be loved and respected, or we generally want a man to be responsible for our feelings, but the reality is that we should be responsible for our own feelings. Yes, he should protect, provide for us, and professes love and have intimacy, right? We do have veto rights. We don't have to accept every man that comes along. A man, he just really wants to be respected. He wants to eat some food, and he don't want you to neck him, right? He wants a woman who's inner feminine to allow him to be the man, to respect him for his decisions. Don't make him feel inadequate. Don't treat him like your child, and stop being in competition for him. Challenge him only to the point where it makes him grow, but not to the point where you're putting him down and emasculating him, right? You have to be able to respect the man. And a man has to ultimately be able to love you. I'm going to transition a little bit, and I'm going to talk about the 5, I don't know how many steps it is, sorry, I think it's 5. How to really change and turn around. 1, I want you to break the cycle and position yourself for love. And to do this, you have to get to the root of your love blocks. That's what this whole 3-part master series has been about, is how do you get to the root of it? You probably haven't figured everything out. You're probably at a place when you're in deep thought. It's like, oh, wow, I got some work to do. You're exactly where you're supposed to be, right? But now it's not just identifying your love blocks. It's getting to the root of them, rooting them out, clearing them up so that you can open your heart up to love and trust again, right? You got to really get to the understanding of what happened in that past relationship, right? Some of us commented that I'm angry at my ex-husband. Of course you are. You got married to be with him forever. But where do we go from here? Because there is love and happiness after divorce. It may be painful, but there is love and happiness after divorce. But how do you get there? How do you get on the road to happiness? This is what I'm talking about in this class. You have to heal your heart. You have to learn to eliminate the beliefs that are really blocking you from healthy love, and the love that you deserve, and the ring and the wedding and the future with the man that you want. You have to really discover how to connect with your core values, your core needs, as we talked about yesterday, and learn why self-love and being in your femininity is really attractive to a man, and really learn how to forgive and let go. It's really essential in every relationship. It takes 2 good forgivers, 2 good communicators to be in a relationship, right? Not just someone who looks sexy and handsome and is our deal, and he knows how to have sex with us and make us have this real orgasm. And it's like, oh my God, right? It takes a little bit more than that, because when you get out of bed in the morning, if you're not filthy rich, and even people who are rich, they got to go make more money on top of their money. Okay? You need to have a life. Number 2, you have to have an authentic woman's mindset, right? Learn the art of conscious level attraction from the inside out, and how to really manifest the love that you desire. That small little meditation that we did, you need to do a lot more of that in your manifesting practice, right? How to really gain the confidence and clarity you need to create this beautiful love vision that you dreamed about. How do you make that a reality? How do you take it out of the back of your mind and put it into the front and out into the world so that you can attract what you want back to you? How do you create the structures of supreme self-love? Right? How do you create activities that's going to increase your happiness and have you feeling vibrant so that you live a life that's fantastic, right? So that when any man sees you, he's knocking on your door, tapping on your shoulders, pulling your skirt tail, and saying, man, how do I get some of what you got? How do I share in what you have? I go through airports and restaurants all the time when I'm not with my husband, and I have a wedding ring. Some of you might have heard me say this before. When I'm at the airport, sometimes by the time I get to the counter with my food, someone has already paid for it. Because they want to know how to get into that energy. They want to know how to connect with me. And this is what you need to also learn how to do. How to create the energy and become so magnetic, so irresistible that any man will say, I want you to be with me. Be my girl. Be my wife. Build a future. Have my children. When you're sitting at the dinner table, he won't say, someday I hope to get married and have children. And we think he's talking about us because he's not really. But he will be talking about you because he will grab your hands and say, I can't wait to marry you. I can't wait until you have my baby. I can't wait until I buy us a home. See, you don't hear those we, I, you in a conversation. You hear him say, I would love to have a baby and have a beautiful home someday. He didn't say nothing about you. But in your mind, you converted that to you. You took his words and translated them to your ideal and not what he meant, right? So you also need to learn how to create your love map that will really guide you through your journey from where you are today to where you need to be. And calibrate your GPS system, your guide picker system, so that you can break this cycle. I hope that these sessions have started to help you, if not, at least waken you up to a sense of consciousness that you have to do something, and you have to do it now. If you want love, you have to do it now, not next month, not next year. Do it now. What are you waiting for? You're not getting any younger. Your eggs are not getting any younger. Tomorrow is not promised to any of us. And if you keep saying tomorrow, next week, next year, when? When is a better time other than now, right? So learn to let go of activity, things, and people that are draining you, that are blocking you, that are making you feel like you shouldn't, and you can't, and you're not worth it. You're not valuable, and you'll never find a man. Let go of men, let go of women, people. I don't care who they are that are blocking you from the things that you want in life, so that you can learn to feel comfortable in your own skin, so that you can learn to be authentic, so you can learn to live in your purpose and align with your own core values. And that's how you will pull a man in to you that's aligned with you and wants to be with you. Again, and then the other thing we were talking about a few minutes ago is your feminine mastery. You have to really learn how to tap into your feminine mastery, where to meet men, how to be confident, how to position yourself to be found so you're not constantly the one reaching out and initiating things, but the man will see you and he will be drawn to you to tap you on your shoulder, to text you on your phone, to message you in your Facebook, to say, hey, I'd like to take you out. He can come up to you in a supermarket. Do you know how to position yourself when you go to a supermarket? Do you know what events to go to meet the type of men you're looking for? Do you have any clue? This is why you need a guide. There's only but so much I can put in 3 lessons, and I wish I can give you everything. But the reality is, it's why I create programs. It's why I create my retreat. My retreat is a 4.5, 5-day retreat that really dives deep into each one of these things that we're talking about, so that you walk away and, like so many of the women in my program, within 30 days, they meet a man who's attracted to them so much that he is buying a diamond ring in 30 days to put on their finger. Who does that? How does it happen? It's because you become so magnetic that he wants to come in and join you. And he wants some of that energy and love that you have, right? And this is because the women, I'm sorry, I got an allergic reaction to something, so I apologize. But anyway, I want you to learn how to trust your gut. how to activate your intuition, right? How to really start to understand if a man is into you or if he just wants to get into you, right? Or even if he's right for you, right? So I want you to understand what you need to understand about the so-called dating rules, right? And dating versus courtship, and then how to be resilient. How do you bounce back from fear, rejection, brokenheartedness? How do you bounce back from those things and move forward? How do you get to I do? I know that's what you want, right? I was able to do that in 11 months. How can you do that? Women are doing it. If I knew what I knew back then, I could have gotten to it in 30 days, right? So the truth, how do you learn the truth about your man's wish list, and to eliminate your poor selections? How do you learn the difference in the different type of men that you meet versus who should be your Mr. Right? How do you learn to trust your instincts and pay attention to the red flag, right? How do you learn to really communicate with men so he can really get what you're saying and really inspire him to give you what you want and need without being a nag, without being controlling, complaining, without putting him down, cussing him out, yelling and screaming and nagging and bothering him? How do you get what you want from him? Do you know how to communicate with him in your feminine essence so that you ignite him to give you anything that you want? My husband gives me anything that I want. When I was dating him and after we got married. And when you come to the retreat, you'll see him in action. And you'll be like, my God, that's what every woman says. Where'd you find him? Right? So it's all because of my blueprint process that I keep talking to y'all about. Y'all can keep watching it. Y'all can watch us on social media while the women who've already committed to the retreat will be there having a blast, and in 30 days posting on Facebook their ring. That's what the women did last year, right? People didn't believe, right? That's why so many people are attending today. We've had about 400 people sign up for this session. I'm always amazed when there's not a lot of people on the call. They sign up, but they don't want to show up because they're still not doing their inner work. They want to hide because they got shame, blame, and guilt, and they don't want no one to know that they want the session. They want to just watch it when they can and be secretive, undercover. Right? I'm stepping on their toes right now when they watch this, but it's true. It's true. You have to stop the charade. You have to stop hiding and wear a mask and pretending. You have to learn how to be authentic and true and ask for what you want. That's the essence of femininity. That's how you make relationships work. That's how you build and get what you want, right? So anyway, you have to change your strategy, as we've talked about. You have to change your poor me story. You have to change that freaking mindset, right? So that you can create that soulful connection with yourself first. If you can't connect with yourself and with your creator, you will never connect with a man, ever, ever, ever. And that's lonely, to be lonely forever and ever and ever. So you can make the choice. You can be lonely. You don't have to. You can stay lonely because some of y'all, some people have written me, like my client who said in the beginning, I wish I found you sooner. Y'all suffer for years until you can't take it no more. And you half dead and mentally messed up. And you just jacked up because of some dude. Because you were waiting. For what? Now is your time. You're not here by accident. This is not an accident that you're here. This is not an accident that you found out about me. This is not an accident that I'm teaching this during the time that you need it. It's not an accident. You've been praying, you've been looking, and you're getting your blessings, but we're saying, oh, the blessing don't look like I want it to look. Oh, the blessing is too expensive for me to take advantage of it. And so what happens? You remain in pain. Well, you don't have to remain in pain. You can access your inner queendom. You can level up your confidence. You can learn how to love yourself. You can activate your femininity. You can learn how to pick up cues when a man is going to screw you over, break your heart, and rob you for all of your money, and just rob you of your integrity and turn you inside out. You can do this, but you can't do this alone. You need to understand how. to do it. And that's what my blueprint process is all about. That's what I want to share with you. That's why I did these 3 courses, because I want you to see how critical it is for us to share more time together. How critical it is for you at this time, not next year, not next month, not 5 years from now, but for right now, for you to do your work. How critical it is for you to go out there and get your ticket so you can be at the retreat, because there's only 15 spots left. We have 24, right? How critical is it for you to snag your spot, right? It just depends on what is it worth. What is getting your man worth to you? What is attracting the love that you deserve worth to you? If it's not worth it to you, you won't attract him, right? You won't attract him. You just won't. It's very simple, right? It has to be worth it to you. You have to be willing to do the work. No matter how much you want to become a doctor, a teacher, a lawyer, if you don't go to school, put in the work, you won't become that. You can wish it all you want. You can go to the library all you want. You can study all you want. You can go act like you're going to represent people in court all you want. You still won't be there. And you really won't get the acknowledgement of being a lawyer. And the same with being Mrs. Right or being his wife. How do you get him to see you without you jumping up and down saying, pick me, and open up your legs and constantly just giving your stuff away to every Tom, Dick, and Harry, so that you can have a man and it never comes to fruition? You just end up with more pain, more broken heart, and in a worse situation that you're in. How do you stop the bleeding of your heart? Right? And that's what I want to help you do. I want to help you stop the bleeding of your heart. Aren't you tired of it bleeding and breaking? Well, let's stop the bleeding. And how you stop is by stop dating the wrong type of men and understand how to implement the 5 steps that I taught you in this program of how to attract your Mr. Right, how to do your inner work, how to recognize your blind spots, how do you pivot and shift and change your approach, how do you activate your femininity, how do you map out what you need to do personally, how do you heal your heart? That's what we're talking about. And that's what I extend to you, right? It's up to you. There's no force, because my retreats sell out every year, right? So it's just a matter of the 24 women who are ready to be blessed, who are ready to attract the love that they deserve. You have to be ready, because it's not for everyone. You can't come there and hide behind the book and the desk and say, I'm not going to do my work. You have to do your work. You saw those girls working and dancing and laughing and wearing their crown. You have to be ready to do your work. You have to be ready. It's critical. And doing your work, you might say, well, he needs to do the work. But guess what? He will do his work. He will work hard when he sees that he has something worth working hard for. He's never going to work hard for something that's valueless to him. He's never going to work hard for something that he's not required to work hard for. Where there's no requirement, there's no desire. He's not going to want. Men don't get any satisfaction from something that they don't have to work for. And this is not about playing hard to get. This is about you becoming a high value, high quality woman who positions herself and opens her heart and activates her femininity and is aligned with her core values that make him feel like, dang, I want to be a better man for her. She is all that I want. Let me see what I need to do. Let me see what moves I need to make, right? You make a broke man buy you a house because he's going to work 5 jobs to do it. It's on you. It's on you. I thank you all for joining me for these sessions. I hope to see you at the retreat in Virginia Beach. The retreat is October 3rd through the 7th. This is just a little tiny, teeny taste of what you're going to get at the retreat. This is just a little bit, right? This is just an hour's worth. The retreat is 4.5 days. So you're going to get a lot more than this, and you're going to get a lot more of my team, right? And some therapists that I brought along, some sensual dancing, and just a lot of activities. I've told you about them, right? And so this is your time, ladies. You're not here by accident. There are 15 of you, 14 of you still connected. I don't think it's a coincidence that I have enough spots for each one of you, plus some of those who are going to be listening to the replay, right? Like I said, 300 people signed up, but not 300 people can come even if they wanted to, because I have to turn it into a conference and not a retreat where I can hold you in a small space, right? And so that's what this is all about. I want to help you personally. I get my desire, my fulfillment by helping you personally. So I see a couple of questions in the chat room. Do I offer training at any other time than October? Sure, we have training all year round. Let's go, people. Trinae says, let go of people, places, and things. Yes, ma'am. Nat is giving me hearts. Nat says, damn. Yes, ma'am. Nat, if you can do me a favor and go in our classroom group, can you just let them know I might be a few minutes late because we got to transition over there in a few minutes. Vera says, do I offer training? Yes, we offer training many times during the year. Our big training is in October during the retreat. After the retreat, there might be some programs. We might have a small opportunity for a program. We will see. It will depend on my work schedule, my speaking engagements, how many conferences and workshops that I'll be doing. We always offer another class in March as well. So it just will depend on what we have going on. So I'm going to really, really encourage you. You said the retreat specifically. Do I offer other training anytime than October? And then you said the retreat specifically. I'm not really clear on what you're asking, Vina, but we do have the retreat in October, and then sometimes I will be able to extend a training if there's enough people at the retreat that are interested in training that are not in my program. I may offer something. It depends on the need for those who are at the retreat. I never leave anyone hanging, so if they need additional training, I will give it. I can't attend the retreat, but I'm interested in a retreat-like event. So you'll have to just stay in my community and see what I'm doing. I have a work commitment. Girl, call in sick. Y'all have to know that your job ain't going nowhere. They fire you and hire someone else. Nobody's irreplaceable. Use your sick time, your vacation time, and you do what you have to do to get here. That's really the bottom line. You have to do what you have to do to get here, because they do what they have to do to get what they need in life. And so you have to learn how to do that as well. How do I sign up for the community? If you're in this, you're in my community. You should have gotten a link to connect in one of the invitations that I sent out today. I know there was a link for you to get into my Facebook community, but just by signing up for this event, you're already on my community. So you'll get my newsletters, you'll get videos, you will hear when events come up or when I'm someplace. Sometimes when I'm flying to a different city, I might say, hey, who lives in a certain place? We might do a session either at a hotel or at someone's home or at a restaurant or something like that. So if you're on this event tonight, you're already in my community, Anita. So thank you for that. Absolutely. And like I said, seriously, y'all, just, like any other vacation, yeah, I understand, Verna. You have to do what you have to do. Yeah, you have to do what you have to do. So everybody has to work out. I just know as humans, we do the things that we want to do. And that's just the bottom line. If you wanted to do it, you do it. Because if a man asked us to go someplace, we go. We make it happen because he asked us to go and he paid for a trip. And you'd be going to work saying, my man bought a ticket and he paid for me to go and blah, 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 and you'd be there, right? So we all do what we want to do. Signing up. Thanks, Anita. I can't wait to meet you in person. I really can't. I had a couple of people say today they were signing up, and I saw a couple of signups come through, so I'm super excited about that. I'm very, very excited about that. This is a no pressure thing, ladies. If it's not your time, if you can't go, don't worry about it, right? You'll still be single and I'll still be talking to you next year. That's all. You know, it's just the truth, right? Because if we don't do that work, we're going to still have the same issues and same problems, and you're going to still be single. And then next year when I have the retreat, because a lot of you were here last year, and we'll be talking about the same thing. So, yep. Trinae says she's calculating her coins now. So for many of you, you may not know, I have this, I have an offer out there. You should have gotten it in your emails. Is that you can pay as little as, I think it's $100 or $100 a week. I don't know if it's 105 or 110. I tried to make it $100 a week, right? Because there's about 16 or 17 weeks between now and the retreat. The retreat is $1,750. And I think you can pay $100 a week and you can have your retreat pretty much paid off, right? All your food, your activities are included. You do need to get your hotel. You can partner. I don't really encourage anybody to share a room, but if y'all want to do that, it'll just be cheaper for you. The room is, it's like $140, $50 a night. You can split that with a girlfriend. Right? Or some last year, someone brought their mom, another one brought their sister, and they split it with them, and they weren't even coming to the retreat, right? And so, because Virginia Beach is a big vacation area, right? It's very nice. It's still hot in October, right? And so, yeah, calculate your coins. You know, I don't want anybody to go in debt, but use your credit card. PayPal, you can pay PayPal back. You can put it on a credit card. And like I said, for some of you who have jobs, try to do tuition reimbursement. Read your forms carefully. You have to pay for the retreat first. Some jobs will give you the money in advance, but sometimes they want you to pay for it first and then they'll reimburse you. So you need to find out what your job needs and what they'll do for you. But nothing is going to change if you don't change. Nothing is going to change if you don't change. If you keep doing the same thing, sitting, watching, hoping, praying, even God says faith without works is dead. So you can have faith and hope in God all you want, you know, but you know that story about he was the man sitting on top of a house and the flood was coming and the flood kept coming up and up and up on the building. And he prayed to God, God, please help me, you know, and the boat came by, says, come on, man, we're going to save you. Oh, no, I prayed to God. I'm waiting for God. He's going to send somebody for me. Next boat come by. Same things. Oh, no, I'm waiting for God. I prayed to God. I'm waiting. He's going to send somebody to help me. Next boat comes by and he lets that one go too. And then here's water coming all the way up and he's drowning. He's, oh God, why have you forsaken me? Well, I didn't forsake you. I sent 3 boats for you. Why didn't you get on one? Right? So faith without works is dead, y'all. It's just completely dead. You can't have faith without getting into radical action and doing the work to give God something to bless. And that's real. So I got a couple more comments and I have to get out of here because I have a class that they are waiting for me on. Good luck. Yep. In the following this event. Thank you. Appreciate it. I see a couple of y'all saying that you've signed up already. Awesome. 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 Well, this is going to wrap up our session. I really have to jump into my other class. I wish you all love and I hope to see you at the retreat. If you have any questions, just reply to any of the emails that I've sent you. If you want to talk to me, ask me questions about the retreat, about your payment plan, absolutely will try to help you as much as I can. You're welcome for the 3 days. I hope it was super powerful for you. Check out my Facebook group. Join my Facebook group so that you can get some more live videos from me. I come out there periodically and talk on a topic, and I look forward to filling you up the next time. I'm Camille Sheppard-Parrish, your Healthy Love Coach. Please share the video, share the information, and help your friends out and post on Facebook and Instagram about what you've learned. And I thank you so much for being in my community. Take care. I wish you love.